Whether your favorite Western film is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a silent film, or maybe really only Western in spirit, chances are it's on this list of the top 100 Westerns already. But what if it's not? What if your favorite Western of all time has been forgotten? How do you get that Western on the list? It's an off-the-list bonus episode of Horses on Film. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the third bonus episode of Horses on Film. This is, of course, the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. We're using as our guide the list IndieWire put out in 2024. There's 100 movies on that list. Some of them, when we go to build our list, are not going to be there. So we need replacements. And that's what this whole venture is about here. That's what these bonus episodes are for. So let's bring in my co-hosts, Dave and Scott. We're digging into another bonus episode. Welcome.
Hello.
Aloha.
Hello. This is Dave's pick. This was one when we first kind of got going, when we first started. Dave brought this to my attention. I had never heard of it. It's kind of, we were talking about, of course, our first episode was Unforgiven. We were talking about the samurai remake of Unforgiven. And then over the course of these movies, there's been samurai movies in and out, remakes of samurai movies as Westerns, remakes of Westerns as samurai movies. Scott's got his cat. We're good to go now.
She was in the room, and I was like, I'm going to water out. That's why I disappeared from it.
Perfect. Yeah, no worries. And yeah, this is Red Sun. This is a kind of a samurai in the Old West. Dave, where did you discover this one?
A friend of mine down in southern Texas, Carlos, as I was telling him about Horses on Film, mentioned this film to me. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
So, got it tracked down, watched it, and thought, this is a great movie.
Yeah.
I think the biggest fault of this movie is when it happened. It was so late in our history that I think it kind of got lost. It missed the cultural zeitgeist wave.
Especially because like 1970s, we were starting to get into like the Scorsese, like that gritty, like looking into modern America cinema that was coming out of the 70s there. Taxi Driver, Godfather, stuff like that. So I can see something like this kind of getting lost in there.
And we were starting to get a lot of spaghetti Westerns around this point. It was really, we were deep into spaghetti Westerns, and this kind of maybe just got, maybe not. Maybe for some people, this is kind of a seminal spaghetti Western. I know I'll mention in a minute a few people that it stood out for. But yeah, that's kind of maybe just, like you say, a weird timing thing. And I don't know how I never heard of it at all.
And with two really big stars, all things considered.
Yeah. Ursula Andrews I wasn't expecting it because I know her for Bond, right? So that caught me off guard. When did the Shogun TV series Shogun, the 4-part they did? Because that's what I had in the, like, because the feel and the vibe, plus obviously the Eastern influence, but I feel like I bet you that came out around the same time too.
The original Shogun, I would have said late 70s maybe, but
keep on keeping on. I'm gonna give it.
But
like that was in my head.
Up with the 2024, like the current
new Disney Plus one, which is actually a beautiful show. And
it's so good. They're 75. No, 75 was the book.
So a few years after.
No, the book 70s miniseries. 1980. It says the book was 75.
Okay.
So I'm not even close, but it felt like that to me, like that. The cinematography, especially at this time, there was a lot of the push for like the fascination of the Eastern culture. And I feel like this rides it really well. Like, and I think there's most movies, especially of this time, are a little more insensitive. Maybe the word I would use. We could use other words, but that's the one I'm going to go with. This one I felt every once in a while, I was like, Yeah, but it felt more like Charles Bronson's character not understanding, less poking fun at, if that makes sense.
Right, and you would imagine he's from the Old West, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Now we for the audience have bypassed something.
Yes, the little let's jump
We
back.
jumped right into it.
I have a little bit here. Yeah.
So let's
Do you want
let's rewind and we'll come back to the conversation.
I totally forgot that we do that for the bonus episode.
Yeah. So well, let's go to a synopsis. Dave's got a lovely synopsis here, and we'll try to. If you haven't seen Red Sun, 1971, what's it about, Dave?
All right, so we'll put this thing up, hit some mood music, and talk about Red Sun. The greatest fighting machine the West has ever known. In 1870, Japanese ambassador Sakaguchi and his entourage travel by train to Washington to deliver a valuable sword to the President of the United States, a gift from the Emperor of Japan. On board the same train are two robbers, ready to make their move.
Yes, that's Red Sun, 1971. I'll go through some stats here quick. It's directed by British director Terrence Young, who did Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Thunderball, bunch of Bond stuff. Eventually, after this, did some more Charles Bronson stuff, so Cold Sweat, some movies like that. He's actually born in China, even though he's British descent. He's Chinese born. Story by Laird Keening, or Caning. Screenplay by Denny Bart Petitclerc, which Little Priest, I think it translates to. And William Roberts, who was the writer on the original Magnificent Seven. Lawrence Roman, with dialogue by Gerald DeVries, or DeVries. Stars Charles Bronson, Toshiro Mifune from the Seven Samurai, Ursula Andress from Dr. No, and Alain Delon, who shows up in a couple other Westerns. He's a French actor. We'll see him later on this list. It was shot in the deserts of Andalusia, Spain, by DOP Henry Alican, who shot Wings of Desire, Roman Holiday, very good director. Music by the master Maurice Jarre. He did, of course, Lawrence of Arabia, a movie we covered, The Professionals. He did Dead Poets Society. His name's all over Hollywood history. No real awards to speak of. This is not exactly an award type movie. But John Huston did consider it one of the best Westerns ever made. He really enjoyed it. And Quentin Tarantino called it his favorite spaghetti Western. So here again is another movie that, championed by Quentin Tarantino, a lover of Westerns, despite the fact, I mean, this isn't on the list either, but there's no Tarantinos on this list either.
No.
Yeah, now we can jump back in. That's kind of our stats and our synopsis. And Dave, what did you think of this the first time you sat down and watched it?
The biggest note that I made the first time I sat down to watch this is a Franco-Italian production, filmed in Spain, directed by a Brit, with American, Japanese, French, and Swiss leads. It is a true worldwide smorgasbord of fun.
Yeah, and set in the Old West.
Yeah. It was really unique when I first sat down, because I'm like, I love samurai movies. I'm loving Westerns. This is what am I walking into here?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I could have guessed it. There's so many ways they could have gone with this, and some I wish they had. Like, I really wish there had been a saloon fight.
They came close. At the brothel, like the main floor of the brothel.
Yeah.
They could have kind of had it out a little bit more, and
a little bit more. Yeah.
All the train stuff. I really enjoyed all the train stuff at the beginning, and the betrayal. There was that kind of, they were, first of all, he saves Bronson from the sheriff. And then Gauche then betrays him, and then obviously kind of starts betraying more of his guys as he goes, which was what happens with treasure and gold and money. But how about you, Scott? Did you had never seen this, and when you jumped in, what was your first thought?
Lethal Weapon 1, like 15 years before, this like odd mix people. Like, it's one of the things I find as we look at the older westerns is that they need an editor pass. I find there's a little bit too much fat on that, but this one was lean and mean, and I honestly really enjoyed it. Like, I like that the relationship between Link and I'm gonna butcher her name, our samurai lead. I'm gonna put
Shiro. You can just call him Toshiro Mifune.
Yeah. Or it's Kudera or something. K-O-U.
I can pull it up.
Something like that.
I don't always pay attention to character names.
Yeah. No, the scene. I love that there's this underlying. They both want this the guy for different reasons, and one of them was very Western, and one of them was very like Eastern. He wants him to revenge the death.
Yes.
And Link wants it because he wants the money. I've been screwed out of my money and I want my money. Right?
You can kill him, but not until I find out where that money is.
But that whole like, you gotta give me time to find the gold. And he's like, no. And that
Kuroda,
that's it. And then like I like that it almost feels like every scene or two they get to that moment where they're like, he tries the water twice, I guess, because he's bathing in the north when they take his clothes. They hold him under the water. Like, there's this, it's like a weird running joke, almost like a running theme that hey, and you can see as they get to know each other and learn to respect each other more, that it's not just a joke, or like it becomes more of a joke, like, hey, you're gonna let me do this, and I know we're gonna keep doing this. Like when he kicks him down the slope, when he, like it's
he could have died. He could have
died. That was just it. And then
easy. Yeah.
Like they do a really good job of really differentiating them without really saying, like, without like a lot of show not tell, which is again something I didn't see a lot in cinema back then. That like visual language. I think that actually the 70s is where they really start on that idea of that show don't tell for sure, with your second generation directors there. And I think this I would hold up. Like we were already talking about how it got overshadowed, but it's worth watching. Like it's entertaining and it's brisk. How fast?
I'll tell you, I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I thought it was going to be kind of a B movie, kind of really goofy, but not in necessarily a good way. And my first takeaway was Shanghai Noon, a movie that I love and I worked on, and my first thought was, wow, they must have really borrowed a lot in
Are you allowed to drink when you do it?
Yeah, I do it too. The idea of like, the train heist at the beginning was a Shanghai Noon thing. That way, like, I love that about their relationship, that they didn't just get teamed up together and they were buddies and they were off on this adventure together. There was a little bit of like animosity and it was almost like a prisoner, and I think, when every time Charles Bronson tries to do something and he gets put in his place, he's like, okay, I'll try something different next time. Like he just kind of had these like little, and also I think he thought there was a bigger language barrier because he was talking to him.
I love that bit.
You didn't speak English till now?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was the boots and the mosquito was where I really like.
Yeah.
Oh, the mosquitoes! There's so many mosquitoes. There's one mosquito, and he chops it in half with his samurai sword, and he's like, "Go back to bed." like it's.
Just
I think it was chopsticks that he got him with it.
No,
he that was Karate Kid, I think.
They're Karate Kids and chopsticks.
That's I rewatched it today in the background, and I think I missed
Another one of my notes was how good that sushi looked when he cooked up.
When he's putting on the
and I guess Toshiro Mifune was a bit of a foodie and kind of a culinary artist, and on set he was making a lot of Japanese food for everybody, and they were pretty thrilled because I don't know how common sushi restaurants were in every part of the world in
1971.
the 70s. I think it's even still a little hard to find good sushi in some parts of the world, and they were in the deserts in Spain, and so it was probably pretty exciting for a lot of the crew.
When he's this stinks and he's pulling it apart, I was like, yeah, it's because it's been in his thing for like a week.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be great. This is how you die.
I hope it was like salted, cured fish or
something.
I would hope, yeah. But because he keeps pulling off these like little mackerel things and throw them in the bush.
Yeah, like I'm not eating.
Give it back to him. He'll eat that. We know this. That was all I could think about is like, you guys don't get crazy. I don't know how long you are going to be out there for. Maybe like save some of this.
But I liked as they kind of went on their adventure, and the more they were together, the more they kind of got respect for each other. And there was that moment after they killed some of the bad guys at that house and kind of liberated that woman from those guys and picked up some horses to help in their pursuit. There was a moment where Charles Bronson had him, in the sights, and he had his gun on him, and he kind of said, maybe we're even now. Maybe it's more in my favor. But then he puts his gun down, like, okay, I'm not going to kill you. Like,
yeah.
But then it's not like they were friends on. They still had some animosity and stuff going forward, but it was a good balance.
Yeah, and you can see it again, that visual storytelling, like it's really well done. It's a buddy cop film, way before buddy cop films.
Yeah, it's a buddy cop film. It's also a chase movie, there's something kind of just inherently easy to watch about, like, they're on a mission, they're chasing this guy, they're kind of picking up clues as they go, and then Bronson is like, well, I guarantee at some point he's going to come back to get his girl, so at the very least let's wait with the girl because he's coming for her. And then even she came on board but was willing to betray him at any turn.
Yeah, well, and it's when it's the moment that he saves her, she sees him as more.
Right.
Because even at the end of it, when she's like, you're going to chase that gold from now until forever, there's nothing I do. Like, that's just who you are. But the flipping of the coin at the end, I thought was a nice touch too.
Yeah, it was a great action sequences. And, we talk about insensitivities. Sorry. The way they portrayed the Native Americans wasn't perfect. It was a little bit of the
70s.
It was better than usual for the time.
Yeah, there was some kind of interesting parts. And I loved that attack in the tall grass.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great kind of set to be in, where it's just like, we've seen the Western town, we've seen the dusty, adobe town before, but to get them out in the grass like that, the tall grass, and not just like the rocks in Lone Pine or something.
He's got the bow and arrow too. Like it was such a very well done.
Yeah. And the gift for the president, I thought that was pretty cool that they were trying to return this thing so that they could take it to the president. I'm trying to think. There's sort of that thing that kind of comes up every now and then. It's almost like a meme thing where you look at what was happening around the world at the same time, and when inventions were technically available to people, and so they say, like, there's a moment in time where Abraham Lincoln could have sent a fax to a samurai. That comes up, and they say other things like that too, where they kind of connect these dots. So the idea that like the samurai was like a thriving culture, or maybe like tail end of their culture, right around the time that all this Old West cowboy stuff was happening, and it sort of fits. And obviously, he teaches them about how to ride the horse, and he's like, this is the front, this is the back. Yeah. And meanwhile, samurai have been riding horses for 1,000 years, and he was a very, very accomplished rider.
Well, and I think that says a lot again about the because a lot of that, like, I don't know, snarkiness so really falls by the wayside as the movie goes on, where he goes, oh no, because it's like that whole, like, when someone understands English just a little bit, so everyone talks louder and slower to them, and you see that fall off. as he goes, oh no, this guy is a lot better than he appears to me to be. And that's, I think, like the things like the horse, the gun, you said putting the gun down, when he talked about they're about to at the end, he's like, you should learn to shoot a gun. He's like, no, I'll be fine with my sword, it'll be fine. Like, it's
he's pretty skilled with that thing.
Yeah, just a little bit. And he's throwing the daggers, and like he's just like, I'm like, this man will be fine. So
yeah, and I also like how it kind of connects like a cast member from the Magnificent Seven and a cast member from the Seven Samurai. And it kind of brings them together. And there's, like a writer involved from Magnificent Seven. And yeah, it's kind of almost like a meta spiritual sequel that they've brought these people together. And yeah, and I definitely see that like East meets West thing happen a lot, especially in the 80s. There was a lot of kind of, even we Karate Kid and how many of these Jackie Chan movies where it's like Rush Hour and, where it's like you take someone from the East, they're fish out of water. You take someone that's got some very, Western or American spirit and you put them together. It makes for a fun little day at the movies. Don't you think?
It's funny because now that you said that, Bloodsport comes to mind, where it's actually, because when he's going to the Kumite and they're in Thailand,
maybe,
and I can't remember where it was, but there's that little like, oh, I am in your kind of area, and they're treating it kind of weird, right? But that was big in the 80s. Like cyberpunk comes out of that with all the Asian influences.
That fish out of water kind of thing. And I imagine for like the people on that train, when they saw the ambassador from Japan and these very traditional samurai, they probably didn't know really what to think about them. Like I wonder, even in like storybooks and literature, like how much they had been exposed to that culture. They were pretty fascinated by them, and because it's pretty cool.
They even say in the low like the crawl that, hey, Japan has just opened up, so they've isolated for 500 years, right?
Right,
so
right.
All of this is new to both sides, I bet.
Yeah, it's like we don't live in this like global community the way we do now, and we don't really have access to these other cultures. I mean, look at all the myths that were believed about the Native Americans from, European lore, where they were just like, oh, we got to go out to the West because it's all this stuff's happening. And this is what they're going to be like when we get there. And then they get there and they're maybe even a little disappointed that like, oh, they're, just like us.
A little disappointed.
The one thing that was kind of interesting as the Eats Meets West, because I just went to look it up. Japan had, firearms for centuries at this point.
Well, gunpowder was invented in China, and they would have been at war with China for a long time, like way before this. So, yeah, that's right. I wonder what kind of arms he would be familiar with.
Well, I think what it boils down to at that point is like a tradition thing.
Yeah,
but like this, Charles Bronson's like, here, take shotgun. Like, it wasn't that. I don't think he didn't know how to use it. I think it was, no, I know this better and I'm more comfortable with this, and this is going to get it done.
Well, even like Jackie Chan wouldn't have just grabbed guns in Shanghai Noon and started, shooting, because that's not his skill set. He's more comfortable and very, proficient at doing what he does. So there's a lot to like about this. I just, and I've gone back and watched it a few times now, which looking back at some of the episodes we've done and the movies that I want to go back and watch again, like there's been a couple where I've been like, oh, I haven't thought about that movie since we recorded, but I'm going to watch it again, kind of thing. Like The Professionals, I went back and watched again. And The Tall Tea I've watched a couple times, even though it's like I should be focusing on all the ones we're covering, but it's fun to go back and watch these ones, especially ones I like. And this is one, I watched it kind of when you first mentioned it, or when I first found it, and then I was like, okay, well let's watch it to refresh. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch it again. There was just a few times where I was like, I'd throw that on. It's a fun movie.
Fun. It's funny because you don't get a lot of westerns that I would say the word fun. Like it's legitimately like it's fun. It really is. I don't know if a better word describes it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what,
And a lot of that is Charles Bronson. What do you guys think of our French actor Alain Delon is as Gauche?
Fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
He played the part really well.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Kind of
played a
remind
really
me,
good, smarmy, sleazy kind of guy.
remind me of Westworld, like the movie.
Mm.
Like that. That's the vibe I got from him, and I couldn't get that shake out of my head. Brenner, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, Yul Brenner. Yeah,
Yul Brenner. Yeah, and so
Also
I couldn't get that out of my head every time he was on, but that's not his fault. So like, he was serviceable. Like I don't. They made him out to be this big bad guy type thing, and I never really saw it outside of the betrayal, right? So
I actually found him a little scary at times. There was a few times where I kind of thought he was a little bit like unhinged, and when he didn't kill the samurai, when he was like, "Hey, you," and he called him over, he's like, "I want to know your name because I'm going to come and kill you," and he just kind of was like, "Okay, cool," and then he rides away, and then he yells back what his name is. I kind of thought, oh, he could have just killed him there and not had to worry about him.
Yeah.
But there was something kind of, I don't know, lack of a better term, like kind of badass, that he was just like, yeah, okay, I'm interested in what's going to happen. You're going to chase me now. Because at that point, he obviously thinks Charles Bronson's dead.
Yeah.
That was really funny that he had that perfect little hole to jump through before they threw the grenade into the train.
A little convenient, but I'm okay with it.
I mean, it made sense because they already blew a hole in the train a couple times. And
no, I liked it. I thought there would be a little more with the Union soldiers, or not, so I guess the American soldiers at that point, but they didn't really do much. Like it's just like they
were kind of inept. They weren't making the chase,
and so
they were stormtroopers.
Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of The Professionals when they're watching from the hill as the Mexican army pulls up, and then the bad guys' men storm it, and they had the Gatling gun, and they just kind of take care of them all, and just kind of, I mean, it's what's more Western than a train heist and a chase, and there's a lot of kind of good stuff around that train, and I like that it bookended too. That then at the end, we're back with the train, and that ambassador said, "I'm coming back through on this other train," and
you got 1 week or whatever it was.
Yeah, I hope it's there, and there's the samurai sword hanging from the wire.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I actually liked it a lot. One of my first things I thought of is when he lets his horse go. I was like, why don't you take the bridle off too? Like you took your saddle, I get it, but like take all of it if you're, especially if you're gonna go
out of his mouth or
like give him a chance if you're gonna do this, right?
Let him be free.
Yeah. So, but beyond that, I actually like it. It's funny. I don't like it. I really enjoyed the film. I don't see myself watching it again anytime soon. I don't get to see as much film as Cam does, I guess, but I'm not mad. Like sometimes someone will recommend something and I'm like, I just wasted my time. Like I could have watched this other film that I did want to watch. No, this one was fantastic. I actually legitimately would recommend it to people. So
yeah, okay. Well, let's get on to some counts then. We're kind of a little ahead of schedule in some ways, but I love it.
There's not a lot to talk about this film. Like, go watch.
I mean, there might be some more here as we get into stuff, but how about horses on film count? No horses, some horses, lots of horses, all the horses.
Some.
Yeah. They weren't. They were without horses for a long time, and then when they finally did find some,
then they were with horses.
Then they were. There was maybe
we're on film.
When the natives attacked, they had a few horses, and so I wouldn't go so far as to say lots of horses.
No.
So,
because it is a plot point. Because he's Charles Bronson's all like, I can leave whenever I want, and the guy's like, give me your boots. And then like, so if he had a horse, I would be like, yeah, sure, have my boots. I don't care. I'll just get on my horse and go.
You ride the horse. Yeah.
Going across the desert without boots would probably suck.
Yeah.
So, and it says a lot about his character. Is like, look, I'm just going to remove this one article of clothing, and you are now my prisoner. And he's smart enough. It says a lot about his character. He's like, nah, we're good. Like, you're
not going anywhere in bubbles.
So used to the comforts of shoes that this is going to stop you. So.
I loved, speaking of comforts of shoes, when just before that, when they're sitting down, it's like, I'm hungry. Who cares? I'm a samurai. It sharpens me. I'm a soft Westerner. I'm a soft cowboy. I need food.
Oh, when did you sleep? As we walked. You're like,
while we were walking.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, and okay, so then ratings. What are out of 5? Where are we at on ratings?
I gave it a 4.
Start with Dave.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
Yeah, 4.
I really liked it. I would watch it again. Yeah, I think when I first watched this was back, 6 months ago or whatever it was that I first came across this thing, and I said, does this belong on the 100 best Westerns of all time? Objectively, probably not.
Maybe.
No,
but did I enjoy it more than some of the movies on this list? Definitely. So I think it definitely belongs on our list for sure.
Perhaps, yeah.
I can see why it's not on other people's, other big lists. I can see why it's not.
Yeah, it's not like a prestige Western, like there's
despite
certain
the prestige cast.
Right, like there's certain ones that even if it's not your favorite, it's like, okay, yeah, but it is, it is the Wild Bunch, like there's these kind of cultural, or like the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance or High Noon, or some of these ones that are just like on every list that everyone ever makes. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Did I enjoy Red Sun more than I enjoyed Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? Spoilers for that episode, but yes, definitely. Yeah. How about you, Scott? Where are you at rating wise?
Probably a 4. I was going to give a good old Dave 3.5, but I think it's probably closer to a 4. It's fun, and it doesn't take itself. So one of the things I've been noticing as we go down this journey with the Westerns is and I don't know if it's, when you think about the time, like making a film at any time is already crazy, but at a time where it isn't like, like there's 7 films in the theater, new films this week, right? Like where that 80s democratization of the film hadn't happened yet. So the fact that this is happening is crazy. But what I find is a lot of the Westerns we've been watching take themselves really serious. Like you can just tell that it's just like, like kind of like Ben-Hur, where it was like, this is going to be the next big thing. You're like, dude, you're just making a random Western. If like it's just another Western. This didn't feel like that. This felt like the beginning of like popcorn Western, like you said, spaghetti Western, where this is also, I've been thinking the whole time, I think this is my first Charles Bronson film. So I didn't really get into like the like Dirty Harry, that like vigilante in America cinema doesn't really do it for me. And that like Death Wish is pretty much where Charles Bronson really got, like, I think he really got his big push. And so I've never seen it, but I actually really enjoyed him. I thought he did really well. It felt like Charles Bronson. like that was another.
Yeah. That's sort of, you're right. There's kind of a genre of Charles Bronson film that I definitely don't really watch. Like a lot of those action-y kind of things. But Once Upon a Time in the West on this list, he was great in. Magnificent Seven is another.
Did we watch that?
We watched Once Upon a Time in the West. He had the harmonica.
Oh yeah. The German totally forgot he was in there.
But Death Wish 2.
Yeah.
Like Vera Cruz is another one that I've mentioned before that he's quite good in. And then of course, maybe his best movie is The Great Escape.
Well, also on top of like, it's like Rambo. I don't really care about that era of Stallone. I do not care.
Yeah.
I think of that era of filmmaking, I probably like Schwarzenegger more, like Commando, Running Man, stuff like that, where it's that like, um, and so it's not really my, but I actually liked him here. He does. I've seen him in interviews, and he's the same person, but
Yeah,
it's a lot
definitely.
less
Yeah.
obvious than like
He's sort
other.
of like a really tough guy, Owen Wilson.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that's a great example.
That's
Actually,
great.
That's-
I
Yeah.
yeah. Because he's got a schmarmy about him that I really like, and you can tell like with like Willis, Stallone, and Schwarzenegger, there was a like obviously Stallone, Schwarzenegger, whatever, and then you got he's more like a Willis, where it's more like I've got some action to me, but my mouth is doing as much as my muscles, right?
Yeah, and he's a little bit more prestige casting than say like a Chuck Norris. Like
Yeah.
he's going to do
Yeah.
kind of a little higher level, you know, especially like The Great Escape and Magnificent Seven and some of these things that are, you know, Dirty Dozen, another one.
Yeah.
Like he's an action star, but you're getting Charles Bronson regardless, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I mean that voice, that it's very ingrained in my mind, of course, because of Simpsons, you know, the kind of sarcastic, you know, we're spraying for potato bugs, you know. Oh, was he holding a little white piece of paper? Oh yeah, you don't forget a thing like that, you know. It's just, there's just something so like 100% unique about everything Charles Bronson does, even whether he's on a horse or swinging a stick at a samurai. But
oh, that was, we didn't even talk about it. I love that scene, and then he watches it get cut down, and he just keeps going. He's like, I'm like, dude, is eventually the stick will be done, and it's going to be your hands.
There's a great moment too there. He's like, "You think you could do that again?" And Mifune is like, "Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure.
I can do it all day."
Yeah.
Hell, I'm
no, it was a great. It was a great dynamic between them, and I really enjoyed it. And you said it didn't really have any fat, and I don't think it did, but it is not short. I forget the exact
2 hours.
Hour
Give or take, it's 2 hours.
2 hours. It wouldn't have killed it to be an hour and a half, but
it's an hour and 41 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. It's a fours across the board. I'm a 4 on it. And I never would have imagined when you first told me about it and I saw it. I almost, you know, there's something about the poster that it was almost like, you know, Around the World in 80 Days or It's a Mad World. Like I kind of thought,
yeah, it's not a great poster.
Yeah, I was really expecting it to be kind of ridiculous. And
also, the poster says Ursula Anders does a lot more than she actually does in the film.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not in it much. And you know, from that poster, I actually thought I thought we were getting a fish out of water, but and throw the poster up again for a second, Dave. I really thought with the title and the Japanese flag, the circle and the riders in the background, I really thought this was going to be 3 cowboys in feudal Japan.
Yeah, I could see that.
And yeah, just based on that, and maybe I didn't look at it close enough, but I really did. I really was surprised to see that it was all set in the West. So yeah, I was expecting it to be more of a Japanese film. I was surprised and delighted with what we got. You know, there was some hilarious kind of brothel scenes. There were some good shootouts. There was that train robbery was as good a train robbery as you get in Butch.
Actually, I like it because like everyone's gearing up and you can just see everyone on the train being like, "Oh crap." This is like, this is my 3rd time this week. Like,
what's Bronson's line? You know, we're gonna put on a Wild West show. It's called a robbery. You know,
kind of reminds me of Chuck Norris from, is it Firewalker, when him and Louis Gossett Jr. are being sent to like South America. Every time you bring up Sorcerer, it's the film I think about.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see those two getting kind of
like it's that like it's again like it's the buddy cop thing that Shane Black has kind of built his career on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is right in that tradition of the, you know, the East meets West, fish out of water, buddy comedy. I really, yeah, obviously people die. It's serious. There's stakes. There's action. But I do see it as pretty lighthearted. And literally, my Letterboxd review was just fun. Like and I think I said that about Maverick too. Like these movies are fun. And are there enough fun movies on this list? We'll see. We'll see when we get to the end. We got 4s across the board here. These are good grades for a movie of this stature.
And it feels so different from what we've been doing. Like it's like, I don't think fun is going to come up as often as I wish it would on this list, because
you're right. There is sort of a deadly seriousness about a lot of the genre, and something like The Last Picture Show, or like HUD, there's a little bit of like a end of an era, seriousness, gravitas to the whole thing.
If
Red
this
River
video is going to give you $1 million to make one of those talkies, like we wanted to see like an Oscar nom or something. And so
if it's an A picture, if it's like an A Western, then it's gonna be either a sweeping epic or something that takes on some kind of psychological angle. As far as movies from on the list that could come off, it's hard to say at this point. We're still pretty early.
I got ideas.
Yeah, maybe. Movies kind of adjacent to this. There's one on the list, Ulzana's Raid, that I've never seen. That maybe might not cut the mustard. I thought Bullet for the General is kind of a good spaghetti Western. It's not on the list, but in the vein of this. And then there's these movies, the Trinity movies. There, it's My Name is Trinity, or there's a few titles around that, like I'm Still Trinity, or whatever. They have kind of that sort of title. Those ones, I think they're much more lighthearted spaghetti Westerns in this vein. So as we get to more bonus episodes, maybe we'll cover those and be like, oh yeah, this is kind of more belongs on than Red Sun. But as of right now, I'd be putting this on my list.
I think it definitely belongs. I mean, I famously didn't love There Will Be Blood. I don't think it's a Western. I think any of these bonus episodes could replace There Will Be Blood.
You're right. You're prepared to take that off the list regardless of what goes on.
That's an easy off for me anytime.
After that comment, any random person off the street could replace Dave on this list.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't say like Unforgiven.
No, that's my job.
Unforgiven is not coming off this list. I'll guarantee.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But I will point out, since Scott hasn't yet, I only gave Unforgiven 3.5.
Oh, I pointed that before. Remember I said I was going to give it a Dave 3.5. So
that is what you referenced. That's true. No, I there are definitely films that I enjoyed more than on the list for sure.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see as we go. There might be more that just don't hit with us, and there's a few that are very fringy Western, like Nope, for instance. A movie I've seen, a movie I really enjoy. But regardless of how much I enjoy it, I'm really going to have to decide if it is Western enough.
When we record this, it isn't out yet, but the movie that the entire time, and we talked about it before, and everyone get ready to drink, but I think Mandalorian Grogu might be like this, where it's this less wolf and cub and more like, because Mandalorian's already a Western, right? Like it's got that vibe. And to have like, I guess by the time the movie comes out, they have a little better rapport, but I feel like it's going to be like this. And I have no reason to think that other than the trailers, but in my gut, I feel like it's going to be like this. And if it is, I think it's going to be great. So,
and I think that'll be out by the time this airs, I'm sure. And we're recording these bonuses and they'll just kind of air randomly, throughout our,
I guess we'll find out if I'm right or not.
Yeah. So, people in the comments might be like, there was nothing Western about Mandalorian and Grogu, but we'll see. It very much feels like a sci-fi version of a samurai meets a Western story. It's right in that vein of we're telling a samurai story. We're telling a wolf and cub, story, but also he's a bounty hunter. It's that era of Star Wars, which again I do enjoy that they set it after Jedi. That's a real Wild West era. Of where these planets are not being governed by the Empire all of a sudden, and it is kind of the Wild West as far as the Star Wars galaxy is concerned. So yeah, I think that's a very interesting one that we'll have to kind of keep our eye on.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I honestly think that I'd watch, like I said, I'd watch this again. I'm just in no rush, but
yeah,
I would recommend it to people. Easy recommend. And I think it will, based on the not even our rating, but like I joked up before, like I can think of a couple films I'd watch this over that we've already covered, especially if any of them have Wayne John in it. So
yeah, John Wayne luckily did not grace this movie, but yeah, I still think somewhere in the filmography of John Wayne, we're going to find a movie that's so undeniably good it will break through.
I actually think if John Wayne was in this, I would actually like it. I feel like because half of the appeal of this film is how different the Bronson is compared, bringing someone who is undeniably Western. Like I poop on John Wayne all the time, but I understand. Like that man's Western. That like I get
it's an icon. I like
I'm just not. I'm not a sushi fan, but everyone freaking loves sushi. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
But I think that holding that icon of the West against what the samurai, which is kind of an icon of the East, that playing them off each other, I might have actually enjoyed that a lot. So
yeah, the more different they were, because they actually do. Although you can tell right from the beginning that they don't get along, and you already know. I mean, we're moviegoers, we get it, but we already know like these guys are a lot alike. These guys both kind of follow the same set of rules, and they're gonna come together in the end. And
it's again, that it's not like it. I don't think it detracts from the film. I actually think you have that anticipation of when is this going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. And well, yeah, and I think it's a hard recommend from all of us. So if anyone's going along our little journey and they want to add things that they've maybe never been exposed to, I've said before, a lot of this is movies that are suddenly available. That because I bet I'm just guessing at this. I bet this played in the theater. It probably debuted in Italy, and then a year later or whatever, it played in the theater here. Maybe it showed up in some kind of like drive-ins or like kind of a grindhousey thing.
That's
right. I honestly don't know what its release was after that. Like, was this a VHS? Was there a DVD? Like at what point did this kind of come into just because it somehow avoided my world doesn't mean people didn't grow up on it, but currently right now it's free on Tubi and free on Plex. So there's no reason to not watch this. It's sort of
the barrier of entry is quite low.
It's sort of great that like movies like this, maybe it wouldn't have been on anybody's top 100 list in the VHS era or in the theatrical era. Maybe a movie like this needs streaming. It needs, free with ads in order to...
I picture like The Room, where it's just one of those films you watch like it's 11 or midnight. There's not a ton of people in the theater, but everyone in there they're there for the film, not just I've never seen it, I'm going to wander in randomly, right?
Oh, if you did a Western film festival and you played this at 11 o'clock or midnight, it would be packed and everyone would have a great time.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's in our future. We'll see. All right. Well, let's wrap this up on Red Sun. Dave, where in this world can we find Dave Chapman on the internet?
You can find me all over the internet. Tuesdays, you can find me talking Doctor Who on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. First Thursday of every month, along with Scott and Cam over on Happiness Patrol, youtube.com/@HappinessPatrolShow. Of course, obviously every other Monday here on Horses on Film. And between all of that on my own channel, youtube.com/theratHole, DOTCA. That's theratHole.ca, but YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. Scott, where can we find you?
Breakfast Scotch National, where I try to take the crazy world and try to make something somewhat humorous out of it. As you can see, my background has changed. That's because I'm almost done building for Pawn and Pixel, which is, I say, every other day, but hopefully we're going to get there. But yeah, and there's a couple other things in the works, which I hint at all the time, but I'm actually slowly moving forward to it. Cam, where we find you?
Yeah, I'm on letterboxd.com, Cameron Chapman, and yeah, you can go through and read movie reviews and that's all good. We have a letterbox for Horses on Film. That's letterboxd.com/Horses on Film, and there is where we have this list of all these bonus episodes and potential bonus episodes. And jump on that list and leave a comment. We've seen a couple already where people are like, oh, you got to do this one or you got to do that one. So, and we will. I mean, we absolutely will. There's not, there's no reason why we are not going to cover. If somebody has a favorite Western, we want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So you can always email us too at horsesonfilm@gmail.com, or leave a comment on our YouTube page, which is kind of our main channel, youtube.com/@horsesonfilm. Jump on and just say like, yeah, this episode was one thing, but I'd rather hear about Trinity or any other, Vera Cruz. Yeah, and then we got an Instagram. So yeah, jump on our Instagram, Horses on Film Podcast. That is where we'll share the kind of the intro videos we do for all our main channel stuff. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for joining me and building this list out. The more of these movies we kind of do adjacent to this 100 list, the kind of better perspective I think we get on what's out there in this Western world, so it's great. And one last thank you. I just want to thank Brett Alec Bailey for our beautiful theme song. We love it every week. It makes my day.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Sometimes it just plays in my head, and now I'm starting to wonder, is this my theme song? No, it's ours. It's our theme song. It's great. I love that. I love that we have this beautiful song to turn to wind things down and ramp things up at the beginning and end of every episode. So thank you so much. And we'll catch you next week or 2 weeks from now. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming, hammering through the list of the top 100 Westerns of all time. Right on. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.